Hey guys, Dylan from Noble Records coming at you with the 2025 vinyl tag. I almost didn't do one this year, but I've done one every year since the beginning of my channel. So to stay in good graces with the Lords over the vinyl community, I thought I would make this yearly sacrifice to them and do the vinyl tag. So if you don't know what a vinyl tag is, every year somebody comes up with 20 questions it's just 20 questions to answer, and everybody that has, channels in the vinyl community, the concept is they all answer the same questions. We get to know each other a little bit better. And also, if you're wanting to start a YouTube channel, this is a good jumping in point to start. Like, hey, this is my vinyl tag. And then, people see your video, whatever, and get to know you. So that's kind of a good thing. And then also, like, if you haven't made a video in a while and you kind of want to get the juices flowing again, you can jump back into a vinyl tag. It's real easy, simple. So that is the vinyl tag. A long time ago, there used to be like certain people that did it. Now it's just kind of like chaos, and somebody different does it every year, it seems like. And then a bunch of different vinyl tags branch off, and like I've done my own vinyl tag before. I don't want to do that this year. I don't have time for that. But anyways, this one is from a guy made it called Pretty Green Vinyl Guy is the guy that did it. And so I think that was the first one, and then a lot of people have done that one, so that's the one I'm going to go for. Number one, best purchase of 2024, new or old. Now, also, if you want to do the vinyl tag, I will pin it in the comments, the questions, so you can see what the questions are. Or you can just follow along, whatever. Number one is best purchase of 2024, new or old. This is my best purchase of the year. The Captain Marriott, I've talked about it here and there. I think from an investment standpoint, it's my best record. I did not know when I bought this record that people will be coming after me so hard for it. But, on Discogs, you know how you can see, like, if there's a really rare record, you can see who owns the record? That's crazy that you can do that, by the way. But so people saw that I owned this record, and they're calling the shop nonstop. They're trying to track me down. They're like, please sell me the record. I'm like, I don't want to sell this record. This is one of my favorite records in my whole collection. It took me forever to find it. I love it. It was a miracle that I found one, and then people were like, well, I'll trade you my newborn child. I'm like, I already have children. I don't want yours, So from an investment standpoint, this would, if I never needed to liquidate it for cash, this would be a good one to do. And I have like a ton of people who've offered me a bunch of money for it. So this is like from an investment standpoint, my best one. And then also, I probably listened to this more than any other record I've gotten this year. I've really enjoyed it. I love it. So this was an easy pick for best purchase of 2024. Number two, 50 years later, best album from 1974. Here's the thing about this list. If I sit and think about every question extensively, I'll be in here for hours picking out records and stuff. I just did whatever came to mind. Like, sit down. I didn't spend any time doing it, and it took me 30 minutes to pick which records are which and go through the questions. So the one I thought of was Herbie Hancock, Headhunters. It's the one I listen to all the time. I'm not saying it's the best album from 1974, but it's definitely one of my absolute favorite. Also, a little humble brag, Dry Water came out in 1974. This is a record that we put out on our label. We did the full audiophile treatment straight from the master tapes. If you haven't heard this record and you like classic rock and you're kind of tired of all the classic rock you've been hearing, make sure to grab this record on our website. The link is in the description of this video. This is a true audiophile treatment, incredible insert, all that stuff. Number three, an album that defines a genre. Don't fight me on this. This is Ramones, self-titled. Love this record. It was the one that came to mind. This is a first press. Really nice copy of this. It's just I'm not sure that defines punk. That's just the first thing that came to mind. Number four, best band from your home country. A lot of people talk about the best bands of the United States. You think about, like, the best bands from around the world, like, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, a lot of the really best bands aren't from here. So people talk about the best bands in the U.S. I think CCR is one of the best. There's a lot of bands in that, in the running. But this is one I don't think a lot of people talk about. The Allman Brothers Band, in my opinion, through and through, great songs, great musicianship. The charisma. It's this band is so close to my heart. I love the Allman Brothers. They're from my general area, so they're not from my hometown or anything, but they're close enough. You know, a state or two away. But man, I absolutely love the Allman Brothers. I talk about them all the time. I know that you know that, but as far as like U.S. bands go, they're up there with probably my favorite U.S. band. Um, an artist, number 5, is an artist that you miss dearly. You know, another one I talk about all the time, but this is the first thing that comes to mind, Townes Van Zandt. You know, those artists that you listen to so much, you feel like you know them. You know, I've talked about this a lot of times, but like Townes Van Zandt's one of those artists that when I really start listening to his music, like I'll get into a kick, and that's all I'll listen to for like a month. And it's depressing to me because like just he lives such a hard life. And actually, one of the questions at the end, I'll talk about this a little bit more, but just his hardships, and his just pulling on your heartstrings. You just feel like you really actually know him when I mean, anybody probably, but with him, I just feel in such kindred spirits with him, even though we live completely different lives, I'm sure, but that's a great songwriter. It make you feel like you're living their life. But he's just one that it's just sad to me, you know, that he passed away, and he didn't pass away young or anything. He was an old guy, kind of, you know, older. He wasn't, you know, his 20s is what I'm saying. But I just kind of wish he was still around making music, you know. Love Townes Van Zandt. He's my favorite songwriter of all time. No music has touched me and I've connected with like Townes Van Zandt. Number 6, best live album in your collection. Led Zeppelin. How the West Was Won. This is a box set, I know, but this is just my favorite era of live Zeppelin. 72 tour, just incredible. I've got a bunch of bootlegs, a bunch of really great bootlegs, but as far as like sound quality and just great performances, all that, this is the best one in my collection. You know, an honorable mention would be the Allman Brothers Fillmore. That's a just out of this world live one as well, but I already mentioned the Allman Brothers, so I thought I'd do something else. Number 7, your partner just dumped you. What album are you putting on? Listen, if Emily dumped me, I would be not putting on any albums. I would probably just I would cease to live. My wife and I, we have such a close relationship. I don't even like this question. Like in our house, we don't say the D word. Like we would never even. The D word is divorce. That's a rule that we have when we got married. We do not ever utter that word. That is not even something that would ever happen in our marriage, no matter what. Me and my wife are very, 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 very close. But for the sake of the question, if I was a teenage boy and my girlfriend dumped me, this is the most emo record that I have. I'm kind of embarrassed that I have this record, but this came out in 2006, 2004. Wow. I was in high school when this came out, and it was really popular, and all the emos at school, you know, the emos that would have their hair like this, like, it's just a phase. It's not a phase, mom, whatever. I would never make fun of anybody, but at school we would kind of giggle and like, these dramatic kids. But then I secretly would go home and be like, I'm not okay. So, anyways, I do like this record. I don't listen to it much, but it reminds me of a simpler time. Number 8, best sounding drums on an album. Oh man, I was trying not to do 2 artists, but Zeppelin, Levee Breaks. Oh my gosh. I didn't want to drag the monstrosity, the mega road case out, but let me tell you what. When I put that on, I turn all the speakers on in the house, crank the volume, nobody's home, and I listen to When the Levee Breaks. That drum part at the beginning, it gives you chill bumps. Like that drum part is so killer. I mean, on any setup, it's gonna sound good, but with that road case and it's just. This is the Lilac Zeppelin 4. Very cool. Oh boy, I'm so bad at this. Number 9, favorite artist who is a member of 2 or more bands. The first thing that came to mind was Graham Parsons. Man, he's one that went too young for sure. I love Graham Parsons. He just added such a magic touch to everything he played on. It's a promo of the GP. He was also famously in the Byrds in this era. And then he was in the International Submarine Band. Incredible, just some bluegrass. And he was in Flying Burrito Brothers. So he got around. He made his mark. All right. So number 10, Beatles or Stones. I don't want to fight with anybody. But come on. Really? I've never understood how this is even a question in my mind. I mean, Stones are great, but man, it's just not even close. As far as like the songwriting, I mean, I grew up listening, to the Stones and the Beatles. To me, I mean, I know they were sort of contemporaries, but just to me, the Beatles were so groundbreaking, and I was not alive in that time. So for me, it doesn't matter whoever came out. You know what I mean? But the Beatles, man, they're the chemistry, the songwriting, just the magic of those songs. I just never. I mean, trust me, I love the Stones. I absolutely love the Stones. A few of their records are great. Man, I don't want to say this. I don't want to get anybody in trouble. But 3 or 4 of their records are great records that I absolutely love. Those are about the only ones I listen to. The Beatles, every song is awesome. I love every song. But so to show the Beatles, this is my favorite white album that I've ever found. Someone brought this in a collection, and inside and out, it looks like this. It's just insanity. And it's just my favorite one I've ever found. Okay, this is another one, number 11. I don't like this question. I'm going to answer it anyways, because I'm a team player. Number 11, you found a bag of weed. What are you going to listen to? First of all, I'm going to not touch it. You found a bag of weed on the sidewalk and you pick it up and smoke it, you're a psychopath. There's a thing called fentanyl. Look it up. You do not, I'm just saying, that would be a huge no-no. Not to mention, I don't smoke weed. I wouldn't smoke it even if I knew that it was good and Gucci. I just don't, I'm not a drug guy. I never have been. I'm not going to smoke any weed. That being said, Dope Smoker. This is a first press of Dope Smoker with the first original cover. I would have to, let's just say I accidentally smoked it, right? I'm in some terrible house fire and I'm rescuing puppies, and there just happens, the house is accidentally made of weed and I get high. That's the only, we'll just say that's the question. If you're rescuing puppies from a burning building that's full of weed, what do you listen to? If I go home and I'm like, hey, we'll see what this Dope Smoker's all about. I mean, I know I like it already, so it's got to be 10 times better for what they say. But let's say I get a little case of the munchies. I want this electric sandwich. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to tell that story. But this electric sandwich is a great trippy album. All right. So my brain got distracted. Okay, I'll tell you the story. When I was 14 years old, my parents, I asked them if I could go see the Allman Brothers. I'd never been to a concert before. Not a real one anyways. And they said no. But the concert was months away, so I was like, they'll forget about it. And so I told him I was spending the night with a friend. Classic. I went to his house, and his dad actually took us to the concert. So I was with an adult. It's not a big deal. But I didn't tell my parents, like, hey, I'm going to this concert, because they specifically told me I could not go. My dad was like, there's going to be so much drugs there. And I'm like, Dad, it's the Allman Brothers. They're not going to be drugs there. They're Southern rock. My 14-year-old self did not know. So we went to the concert. It is a absolute blanket of pot smoke everywhere. It was so thick in the air. You could barely see the stage. We're in the lawn. You know what I mean? So much pot being smoked. I'd never seen pot in my life at this point, and it was everywhere. And so I was like, anyways, I was scared I was going to get a contact high. I didn't smoke pot. But when I left, my mom was standing at the gate, and she had called my friend's mom to check on me and make sure it was good. But she never did that. But for some reason, she did. And Mom was like, oh, they're still at the concert. They'll be back soon. She's like, burr, 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 what? So she drove out there, picked me up at the gate. I got in the car. She's pissed. And she's looking at my eyes, trying to see if they're dilated. And I'm like, what are you looking for? She's like, I don't know. Looking for anything that's different than normal. I'm like, I don't know, Mom, but can we stop at McDonald's? I'm freaking starving. And she's like, and I was like, But I didn't smoke pot. I don't know if I got in contact high or not, but I was feeling great, and it was a great concert. So that's my story, my doobie pothead stoner story. Okay, so an album from the 80s that you still listen to. First thing that came to mind was Pentagram. This album is incredible. Absolutely chart topping for me. If you like that Sabbath sound, the 70s hard and heavy rock, this has a mixture of that and just that like sludgy doom stoner. It's so freaking good. This album is unbelievable. I found this out in the wild in South Carolina, if you can believe it. And then this is found in the same collection, Day of Reckoning autographed. I love Pentagram. I don't talk about that band very much, but they're very, very good. All right, number 13, an artist whose political stance has soured you. I'm going to make this real quick. I'm not going to answer this question. I don't really like this question because politics in the United States has become really polarizing. I hate what it's done. Just to like a lot of people that I know, one person will say, hey, I'm on this side, and the other person say, hey, I'm on that side, and then they're not friends anymore, which is crazy to me. It didn't used to be that way in politics, but now it is. And so I'm not going to say, but I will say this. There's certain people who they're so overtly political that I don't like listening to them anymore. And it goes both ways. I don't care what side you're on. If you're overly political and you treat the other side bad, you treat the other side with disrespect, I think everybody should respect everybody's beliefs and opinions and all that stuff. But if you're so overtly political that you treat somebody who doesn't agree with you in a negative way or treat them poorly or don't give them respect, then I don't like it. I don't like that at all. I don't like that whole thing. It does not matter what side you're on. There are people in all political stances that they're so overly political, I cannot deal with it. I hate it. And it's not because of the issue and the politics itself. It's how that person treats the people that don't agree with them. And in life, you have to be able to treat people with respect, whether you agree with them or not. So I really don't like this question because it only contributes to the polarization of politics. And like, if I were to say, hey, so-and-so, I really hate that they're so political, like, then you're going to think, oh, he's political because he's thinking about that. So then I'm taking a political stance. I'm not doing that on my channel. So I won't be answering this question. Hope you guys understand. But I will say it's not just one particular thing. It is that respect of other people and someone being really, really, really overtly political, no matter where they're at. I do not care for that. Number 14, show a favorite record label. I was going to show Vertigo, but that's low hanging fruit. Everybody knows I love Vertigo. So I thought I'd go a little off the rails with it. So favorite modern record label, excluding the Noble record label, which you should follow on Instagram at Noble Record Label. We're putting out great hard rock, obscure hard rock, 24/7. But, I got friends that have record labels. Riding Easy Records, good friend of mine. They do really good stuff. The one I was thinking about, I just got these in the mail. A friend of mine sold me these because these are out of print. They're super rare. These are the Ancient Greece. Look at that cover. So Ancient Greece, a buddy of mine, Adam, runs a label. Love his label. He does such cool stuff. Like, these are like handmade covers that he glues all this stuff together. He does like really limited edition stuff. So this is like I want to say he does like 25 of these with the holographic cover. This is called Dom, Devil's Grandma. Super, super rare hard rock record from the early 70s. I'm going to say 72, but I could be wrong about that. Let's check this out. Like this, this is another version of it that he did that's like this splatter. Really, really cool. But Ancient Greece Records, just so freaking cool. Everything that he does is just like, there's so much care and intention put into it. And then like, if you were just like getting into 45, he has some LPs, and we've done like Fresh Blueberry Pancake. We did an exclusive with him. Sun and Death we did with him. We have some coming up. The Power of Zeus we did with him. So he has like LPs as well. Everything he puts out is just 100% all killer, no filler. So anything, like if you go to buy something from him, everything's going to be good. But even the 45s, like you can get just black vinyl ones and they're cheap, to collect. So, he also, we did the only 7-inch exclusive we did was with him, and it was that Blast one. So good. But anyways, that's one of my favorite modern ones. So the next question was, show a run of 3 singles. Now, I I just didn't want to do it that way to where you talk about one band doing 3 singles, boom, boom, boom. I'm just talking about 3 singles in my collection that I really like. You can change the questions to whatever you want. So this Osage Lute, this is the same band as Backjack, who we did an exclusive with Rod and Easy Records of. That's a great single. This one, Peace Pipe, The Sun Won't Shine Forever. That's an incredible, incredible single. So psychedelic, so heavy. Chef's kiss. And then this Super Chief, both tracks on this, out of this world. Great, great. Just all three of my favorite, some of my favorite singles. Great stuff. Okay. Number 16, RSD purchase that you actually consistently listen to. There ain't nothing RSD's put out in the past, ever, that I consistently listen to. They just don't. It's not anything personal. It's just not anything I really listen to. Some of those Jazz Dispensary comps, I will listen to those from very seldomly, but I have a lot of those records, so I'm not going to listen to the comps. But that's the best, one of the best things they're doing. I like the Allman Brothers stuff that they do. And so this is the one. This is, I don't even know what freaking year this is. 2018. They did this Atlanta International Pop Festival. This is one of my favorite releases that they've ever done. I don't listen to all that often, but it is a very cool release. So that's the one I chose to answer that question. But I'm just, the type of stuff I collect, I just don't listen to RSD stuff. I just don't. It's just not my thing. All right. Number 17, you could be reincarnated as any artist, dead or alive. Who's it going to be? I was going to say Townes Van Zandt because that songwriting ability is something that, like, if I had a genie, I could just ask for 3 wishes, and they didn't have to do with the well-being of my family or the earth or solving world hunger or anything like that. Just selfish wishes just for me. Probably top one would be able to write songs like that. Like that, I would love that. I've studied songwriting and I've tried and I've written some songs that I'm kind of proud of, but not really wanting to put out there for the whole world. That's one thing. Like if I could write songs that I could convey how I feel about things the way that Townes Van Zandt does, I would love that. That being said, you don't get a Townes Van Zandt type without some serious substance abuse, some serious trauma. So it's not really a life I think I'd want to live. You know what I mean? So it's kind of a double-edged sword. So I'm going to say Willie Nelson or Snoop Dogg. Either one of those guys. And I know I said I don't smoke pot, but, if I was Willie Nelson or Snoop Dogg, it's kind of in the job description. I guess you probably have to. But just the life that Willie Nelson has lived, the people that he's interacted with and made music with, and he's lived to be a very old man, and lived a very full life, and he's still trucking, still killing it. I think Willie Nelson might be my pick, honestly. So anyways, that's probably because he still has that song. He's a great songwriter. He's written some amazing stuff. And then, he's just cool. As cool as they come. All right. Number 18, best 3 lines in a song. God, we're really getting off on the songwriting rabbit trail. So there's a guy named Steven Wilson, Steven with a PH in the middle, Steven Wilson Jr., that I've been binging like crazy. I've been listening to. There's an album called Son of Dad that he put out in 2024, and I heard bits and pieces of it. I think like when it came out, like I think it came out in the spring. But lately, I just heard this song he did, and as a dad and as a son who loves his dad, absolutely wrecked me for like a week. Couldn't stop listening to it. It's called I'm a Song. It's not ever been released. It's only on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. Steven Wilson Jr., I'm a Song. That whole song, the whole aesthetic of it, the whole entire, I'm not going to ruin it for you. You need to listen to it. The whole entire concept of the song is so good. It makes me feel like, it makes me realize how much I love my dad. You know what I mean? And I love my dad. Me and my dad have a great relationship. But just it brings back some of those really specific early memories that I have with my dad, and realizing like his dad abandoned him when he was 5 years old, and then he was just such a great, loving dad to me, and still is. And then for me, like my sons are my whole life, and so that whole, like I have 2 boys, and just thinking about And he has another song called Father Son that is just like, so good. So either one of those songs, like every line of the song, I think like what makes a really good song, and I've heard other people say this before, but is if there's not one wasted word in that song. Every word means something powerful, and the song wouldn't be the same if you pulled one of those words out. And that's how some of his songs are. Those two songs specifically, it's just like, oh man, so freaking good. All right, so number 19, an album that you never tire of. This is one right here. Master of Reality. This is my UK Vertigo. This is my US, like Stone Mint, clean as you could ever find one, US pressing. I'm telling you, this thing looks like it was made yesterday. And then this is also pretty clean too. This is the White Label Promo. So I love that album. And then just for kicks, I thought I just got this. This is the Mexican Vertigo pressing of Paranoico. Very, very cool. But any of those first 6 or 7 Black Sabbath albums, I never get tired of them. Put them anytime, and I'm just like, killer. Okay, share your favorite VC channels, number 20. There's usually a question like this. And listen, I always say the same thing. Matt Sands, he has a channel, I think it's just called Matt Sands. He's my favorite. He'll always be my favorite. He doesn't post videos much, but when he does, I cancel everything. I'm like, everybody shut up! Matt Sands is on the TV. I probably woke my family up. It's like 1 a.m. over here. But dude, it's so freaking good. He's just such a likable person, and like he's what really inspired me to start a YouTube channel back in the day. Okay, so he has a record store. Gold Pan Records. Oh my gosh, I have a t-shirt. I wear it all the time. Gold Pan Records with him and his partner record store guy, Brian, and they've started doing videos together as well. It's awesome. They're both so funny. They're like, he's so smart about music. He's such a sweet guy. I love Matt Sands. Like he was my own son and brother, and I think he's a little older than me, but I still love him with all my heart. Also, some honorable mentions. I mean, I can't mention every channel. I love Vinyl Richie. I love Vinyl Reckoning. Some sweet folks there. There's a kid doing some now named Sorin Vinyl, Sorin Vinyl. He's a breath of fresh air. Really, really cool kid. God, I'm trying to think. Bob Bradley always, I watch his stuff. Obviously, Mazzy's a good guy. I love the Analog Productions channel. Anytime they post anything, I watch it. Mike from the In-Groove, great source of knowledge. I don't watch a ton of vinyl-related YouTube videos because vinyl's my life. When I started doing YouTube, I needed that vinyl input because I was working all the time and I didn't have anybody to talk about records with. Nobody cared. And so the YouTube vinyl community just saved me. I absolutely loved it. But now vinyl is every minute of every day of my entire life almost. Not really, but if I ever want to talk about records, I just go to Stock Shop and talk about records to whoever's sitting there. But so I don't, it's a lot like work to watch some of these videos sometimes. So I don't do it a lot. But when I do, those are kind of some of the ones I do. And there's more than that. I'm just shooting from the hip. But anyways, thank y'all. Hope you do your own vinyl tag, and hope you guys are doing great, and Happy New Year. For this year, I just want to, my New Year's resolution is real simple, leave something behind, do something that matters, you know what I mean? So hope you guys like all these records, and if you don't, I don't care.